Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to go over another question on code forces, that is corrupted array. So let us quickly go over the problem statement. You are given a number n and an array b which starts from b1 to bn plus 2 obtained according to the following algorithm. There's some array a1 which goes till an that was guessed. Array a was returned to array b, that is bi is equal to ai for all valid I from 1 to n, and then the n plus 1 element of array b is the sum of all the numbers in array a, that is bn plus 1 is the summation of all the elements in the array a. The n plus 2 element of the array b was written as some random element x, which can be between 1 to 10 power 9, that is bn plus 2 is equal to x. Then array b was shuffled, so the order was shuffled in the array b. For even now they're asking us for the given array B, find any array A that could have been guessed initially. So let's try to understand with an example. So for given array B, that is 2, 3, 7, 12 and 2, it could be obtained in the following two ways. The first way being, if the base array is 2, 2 and 3, that is present in the array 2, 2 and 3, then the summation of these elements would be 7, that is present in the array, and the remaining element 12 would be a random element. Another possibility would be the base array A would be 3, 7 and 3, 2 and 7 that are present in the array 2, that is a random element x, and the remaining element 12, that is the summation of these three elements. So a single array B could have multiple variations of array A. Now let us have a look at the input format. The first line of each test case, first line of input contains a single integer t, that is the number of test cases. The first line of each test case contains an n, that is size of the array, and the second line of each test case contains n plus 2 integers, that is our array b. Now for the output format, they are expecting us to print -1 if we can construct array a out of array b which satisfies all the conditions. If -1 if we are not able to satisfy these conditions and construct array A, and if we are able to satisfy these conditions, then we have to print our array A, base array A. Now as we saw above, there can be multiple possibilities of array A. In that case we can print anyone. So here for the second test case, they were not able it is not possible to obtain array A from the given array B, that is 9, 1, 7, 1, 6, 5. So they have printed -1. For all the other test cases, it was possible, so they have printed the array A, that is the base array A. Now, the approach here would be for each element in the array B, we'll try to consider it as x, and for all the remaining elements, we'll try to find such an element that would be the sum of the remaining elements. Like we'll try to assign x as 2, and for all the remaining 4 elements we'll try to find some element 12, some element that would be sum of this remaining 3 elements. So here it is 12 and the random element is 2. So this is a valid combination. In the same way we'll try x for 2, x for 3, x for 7, x for 12 and 2 till we are able to find the array, till we are able to find the combination. So this might be a little confusing, so let us understand more with the help of whiteboard. So before we actually dive into the solution, there are some observations that we need to make. So the observation being, let us consider num1 plus num2 is equal to num3. Now these are some random variables. Now if we are given that num1 is equal to num2, then it becomes obvious that num1 plus num1 is equal to num3. I'm just substituting this second condition into the first condition. So we can also write statement 3 as 2 into num1 is equal to num3, and we can also write statement 4 as num1 is equal to num3 divided by 2. Yes. Now what is this? This basically states that num3 is divided by 2, and we are given in the question that the numbers would be always integers. So they won't be in decimal format. So if they won't be in a decimal format and it can be divided by 2, then it just means that num3 is an even number, right? Okay, so this was an observation that would help us find the solution. So let us take an example. uh, so the example that we'll take is, let's say, 1 6 2 9 and 2. So let's take this as an example. Now, as I said before, let's try to assign x for each of the numbers sequentially. So first, our x would be 1. Now, if our x is 1, I'll just move it a little bit. Okay. So if our x is 1, the remaining elements would be 6, 2, 9 and 2. And the sum of these elements would be 19. Now 19 is an odd number, so we can't divide it by 2, and hence it is not possible. So x is equal to 1, and x is equal to 1 is not a valid choice, is not a valid x. So this combination is not possible. So let us take try taking x as 6. So if we take x as 6, the remaining elements will be 1, 2, 9 and 2, and the summation would be 14. Now 14 is even, and hence it can be considered. So in the next step, we'll try to find a number that is 14 divided by 2. We'll try to see if 14 divided by 2, that is 7, exists in the array. So does 7 exist in the array? So if you can see, 7 does not exist in the array. So x is equal to 6 is not a valid choice, as it does not satisfy the condition of three elements being the sum of the remaining, an element being the sum of the remaining elements. So this is not proper. Now let us try with 2. Let's try with 2. So the remaining elements would be this, and the sum would be 18. Now if 18 is an even number, so we can divide it by 2, and if we divide it by 2, the remainder, the question that we get is 9. And as we can see, 9 is present in the array. So what this basically states is that 1 6 and 2 is a base array. 1 6 and 2 is a base array, x is a random number, and 9 is the summation of all these elements. So we found a solution. So we'll use the same approach in the code to find the solution sequentially. So let us have a look at the code. So here first I'm taking in the input, and I'm also declaring a map to check if the element exists in the array in big O of 1. So here I'm taking in the input, that is I, the element. I'm incrementing the hash map, that is the number exists, and I'm also adding in the number to the total. So total will have the total of all the elements that are present in the array. Now I am looking over all the elements one by one and taking x sequentially, like considering each element to be x in the sequential order. Like first I am considering 1 to be x, then 6 to be x, then 2 to be x, 9 to be x, and similarly 2 to be x. So if that element is x, that element cannot be a part of total. So I am subtracting it from total, and I am also removing it from the hash map. This hash map you will understand further down the code. So after this, I am checking if the total that I am getting here, that is 18, 18 in this case, is a even number or not. If it is not an even number, it is not a valid choice. So we'll just skip this condition and take some next x. If it is an even number, then we'll check if that number divided by 2 exists in the array or not. So this is precisely why we used hash map, so that it can quickly help us find out if that element is present in the array or not. So if it is present in the array, the answer won't be 0, and we'll know if the answer is not 0, we'll know that total divided by 2, that is required sum, exists in the array. Required sum means the element which follows the condition 1 that is given here. And if that exists in the array, we'll also remove that element from a hash map and print all the remaining elements from a hash map. and after printing all the elements, we'll simply return. Now, if this condition is not true for any of the x, like if it is not true in this case, what happened was it was not true for 9, it was not true for 1, it was not true for 7, 1, 6 and 5. So eventually the loop ended and the program counter came towards the last condition. So after trying all the possible combinations, if it is not able to find the solution, that simply means the solution does not exist, and we'll simply print -1 and exit the program. So this was the overall code. Now as you can see, I've already submitted the code and it's already accepted. So code also works. So this was it for the video. Thank you for watching.